chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Gull'S Eye View. I'm joined by Rachel, Clive and Chris, and we're going to be talking about our first away win of the season. Crucial win at Salisbury. Crucial at Salisbury. I've also been talking about women's game today, last minute winner there to get to the FA Cup first round proper. So yeah, good weekend for the football club in general. Right, where do we start though? Nice to be back. I've been here for a few weeks in the hot seat. Amazing job done by the team. I have been like doing a few other media bits for the three people that asked. And if a few other
Great.
media bits,
Wow.
music and all that stuff, and all that enjoying good stuff. So, I'm only 1/6 of the great team here, but I've still been editing. So, Clive, talk me through the beginning, the day, the away day, and what you made of Salisbury and how important the win was.
I mean, the away day was verging on epic, I think. There were a lot of people there, and I'll come back to that in a minute. The game itself, decent performance, I thought. Rachel got her wish because Cody Cook was benched at the start. And we were dominant, really, first half. Good inroads down the left-hand side from Callum Dolan. The new lad, Kian from QPR, I thought was lively on his debut. So I think actually the selection probably was a decent one. He was always looking to get in behind the defenders, as Harry Salvage said on the commentary, I think, playing on their shoulder, he was a threat. And we made it pay. We made the early pressure pay. It was a decent goal from Matt Worthington arriving onto a ball in the box, nice control, finish with the sort of outside of his right foot. I think it was really well taken goal. We got a penalty awarded shortly after that. Unfortunately, with no Cookie about, it fell to Jordan Young, and young Busey got back a little bit of the family penalty honour by swooping on that. Worthington missed a good chance afterwards as well, but it was a dominant first half display. We had the conditions. We had a howling wind behind us. Would it be a hospital pass, Rach, if I asked you to describe the second half?
Yeah, sort of after the Lord Mayor's show a little bit, wasn't it? Because they had put in a really good performance first half. Standouts for me was Callum Dolan on the left. He was great all game. But particularly so in that first half. He was running poor Dominic Reven ragged, the Salisbury captain, who incidentally was getting a lot of chance and abuse coming his way.
He's an ex-Villa youngster, isn't he?
He is an ex-Villa.
Yeah, played against Weymouth a couple years ago.
Yeah,
former Villa Academy player, very promising at the time. And yeah, I can remember. I think it was last season. He was on loan to Weymouth, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I think he did pretty well with them. So he's now obviously plying his trade at Salisbury. I don't know what the beef was, and I actually asked one of the fans who were just sort of just shouting at him all game. What's the issue with him? But by that point, they'd had 3 times as many lagers as I had, and the response was, unrepeatable. But anyway, second half, we seemed to boss the game pretty well. I think that the fact that with the penalty miss, possibly, I mean, Dennis getting shoved in the box to win the penalty, sort of 5-6 minutes earlier, Callum Dolan, almost like an identical incident where he was shoved in the box, but whether the ref, thought, well, better give this one, but it's definitely a penalty. But yeah, you did feel at halftime only going in with the one goal, and because we scored so early in the first half, you did get that. I don't know about you, but whenever you score early, especially against a team that, let's face it, they are strugglers, aren't they, Salisbury? You get that sort of surge of optimism. You think there's the floodgates are going to open, and we're going to just pile on and maybe score 2 or 3. And the chances that we created, we probably could have gone in at sort of 3 up. But anyway, we were 1 up, so that sort of leads into the second half. Where we it was just a competent performance. It was we did what we had to do, but you never want that sort of last 12, 15 minutes, the nervousness that creeps in, and that did happen. Because Salisbury were suddenly sort of pressing forward. They had a good chance. Hammond saved with his left leg outstretched there. Couple of interventions from our favourite fullback Denzel. But my first away game of the season, Torquay United's first away win of the season, and all in all, a really, really lovely afternoons, because you cannot beat away games. And I think they've quoted as, I think it was 900 away supporters. It didn't feel like that, but I think because we were all scattered around. There was sort of a large pocket of people behind the goal. Then there was little gaps. Then I was on the east side, and there was plenty of room to swing your scarf. And then opposite me, that was a little bit more populated. And then of course you had the seating as well, which so probably was about 900. Really difficult to get the atmosphere going because of the swirling wind, the conditions, and not only that, no roofs. So whenever a bit of singing did sort of get drummed up. Oh, and no drummer. Apparently they wouldn't allow the lad with his drum to get into so he had to leave his drum. But by Gringo's, the greasy burger cafe place outside. But all in all, thoroughly enjoyable. We've got a monkey off our back, haven't we? We've finally got that away win, and let's hope that that this is the start of a few more.
Yeah, Chris. I mean, for this game, thank you, Rachel and Clive. Lovely summing up as usual. Obviously, there's a bit of healthy debate about how important this win was. For me, it wasn't a must win, because as Dom said in our chat earlier, must win means like your season's over if you don't win. It was, of course, not the case. But for me, it was a really big point in the season. A really good chance to sort of show off that, we can kick on. That's now 2 points per game, 5 points off the top. We've had an injury crisis. Still a long way to go in terms of where we feel we can get to a level of maybe performance. But at the end of the day, it's still good going. I really felt like, as we say, get rid of that kind of no win away from home, go into Dagenham next week, go looking for like 3 wins in a row. It was crucial, wasn't it? And it was also a clean sheet. Or, as a lot of Torquay players and the youngsters like Clive and all those sort of people, Cleano.
We're all
woke
over
nonsense.
it.
We'll move to that in a minute. We've literally been arguing all day in the Talkie Talk chat about woke and like Cleano, a clean sheet, right? We won't talk about that yet. But Chris, how important was that win?
I think it's very important. I think if you look at it in kind of number terms, I mean, I get Paul's been a bit, Clive will know, a bit twitchy about any conversation about the away forward. But it's like I said to Clive during the week, if he wants people to stop talking about it, there's only one way to do something about it, isn't there? Which is to win some football matches away from home, which is what's good. But I mean, I think if you look at it as a wider context, I mean, it's 3 points. 3 points is 3 points. However you get them, whether it's a impressive game, not impressive, windy, not windy, and you win the game 1-0. But it's interesting, isn't it? 2 clean sheets in a row, 2 1-0 wins in a row. As soon as the defence tightens, life becomes a lot easier, doesn't it? Because you only need to score 1 goal to win a game if you're keeping some clean sheets. But I think, as a wider context, I think I might be wrong, but I think Tommy tweeted earlier, same points as last season, 20 points in 10 games. So when you consider last year, we had a fully fit squad ready. We were, yes, it was a new group, but you can think about the problems we've had in terms of player availability. But yet what are we, third in the league, 5 off the top, game in hand, 20 points, 10 games, 2 points per game, which is what you want to win a title. It is important, but I think it's important as a wider context, because that kind of stuff just, it happened last year, didn't it? It was a month, 2 months, 3 months without an away game, and the longer it goes on, whether you like it or not, if you're a player, mentally it's going to affect you, isn't it? It's going to start playing on your mind, and you're going to start thinking. Obviously, the penalty goes in. It's probably a bit more of a comfortable afternoon. We might be able to get a few more goals, but it's like Paul said after the game. It doesn't sound like we let it phase us, and we went on the attack straight away and nearly scored. Just a question I'd like to raise. I've only seen the highlights. I've been working this weekend, but and I sort of, this, at the risk of bringing my sister into this, but the penalty, because with the law as it is now, it's not a red card with a double jeopardy if a penalty is given and a genuine attempt is made to play the ball. I don't think two hands in the back as a striker is bearing down on goal can be called a genuine attempt to play the ball, can it?
No, I don't think it can. Was he bearing down on goal? It was quite wide, I thought.
Yeah, it's only 6 yard line. It's a 6 yard box.
I wasn't.
Scored.
I can only do this on vibes, Chris, but I wasn't screaming. I wasn't screaming for a red card.
No, it was just a thought. I watched it a couple of times and I thought, actually, that ball kind of round the corner and plays him in. He's in on goal. Logic says, I actually think he's probably got too close to the keeper as well. Whether he's waiting for the contact or what, but he could have just dinked. I thought he would just dinked it over. But actually, this genuine attempt to play the ball is always slightly subjective, isn't it? But actually, I don't think two hands in the back and push him over is an attempt to play the ball. It was just a thought, having watched it a couple of times.
They're nice though, Salisbury. They give us a penalty every year up there, don't they?
They do, yeah. But just with random shoves in the back.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, as Clive would say, after 10 games, I don't mind it. I don't mind where we are. 20 points, 20 points from 10 games.
Dagenham are.
Happy with that? Yeah, absolutely.
That's a big game next week. I'm sure we'll get on to that.
Teams.
But that's sort of box office for our league, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a really good occasion. That it was interesting in the press conference. I asked that question, and I gave Paul the chance to sort of react a bit. What I asked him was, is it too early in the season to start talking about must-win games? And off he went. And everything he said I thought was reasonable. He came out fighting. There ain't no crisis, and it's not a must-win. So that was it's really nice when you get a manager who's prepared to engage with a question like that.
I think his response was, "I'm not happy, but I'm not concerned."
About the away form,
wasn't it? That was his sort of stock response to you.
Yeah. What I do know is, if we'd lost yesterday, this would be a very different conversation, wouldn't it? So it was a really. Not only was it a good result, it was a cracking performance. I thought we played really, really well. You're entitled to play well against a fairly poor team like that, but it was decent and
in the conditions. This is where the league's won or lost. You're not rarely going to turn up and win 4-5-0 with these sort of conditions, these sort of grounds, these occasions. It's not also one when we beat teams that play more on a lovely pitch in the summer 3-1, 3-0. It's one when we go to these teams and we get a result. And that is, if we start doing this, everyone's entitled to opinions, and that's why I love football. I always see it from more of a half glass full vibe. I can't go from that side. I just love excitement. If my team's within a promotion battle, I'm really excited they're going to win it, and you just got to enjoy it. And when my team wins, it's a bit different when you're following the game, also on the old live score a bit more, because you're not seeing the performance as much. But I'm still buzzing, and to be fair, I'll be 10 times more buzzing if I was there, because we won. So
I think as well,
I'm delighted.
I can just add that. I think as well. I'm trying to think which game it was. It was a home game that was tight, probably the Tottenham game, I think. And Paul said after the game, we'd have drawn or lost that game last season.
Yeah.
And it feels a bit like that sort of thing. 1-0 up, had the win, missed a penalty, missed a couple of chances. Second half, concede an equaliser in the second half, lose 2-1, with the mentality and the quality of maybe some of the players that we had last season. But those players we've got, Dolan, we've mentioned, Low Everton, Worthington, people like that. There's just a bit more kind of durability and kind of mental fortitude, I think, to some of these players, that you can get results like that. Time will tell. But I mean, it's certainly, we've got some away games coming up, haven't we, in the next few weeks. Cheshire will be a difficult place to go to. Dorking obviously will be a tough one. Maidenhead are up there again, aren't they, in this league? So some tough games to come, but they're games that, with the players and the squad fully fit, we can go and have a pot.
And you know what, Chris? They just love a Cleano.
Nothing more I love more than a Cleano, Sam.
Do you
Love a
know
Cleano.
what? I'm predicting this now, right? Cleano is one of those words I initially hated, and I'm going to ironically start saying it. It's going to become my whole vocabulary and personality. Everything's going to be a Cleano.
But it's like I said yesterday, this morning. If we're having this conversation about Cleanos, it means we've had a clean
Yeah.
sheet, doesn't it?
And
So
they
I'll
love a
talk about
Cleano.
this
They love clean
every
sheets.
week.
I love a
Fine by
clean
me.
sheet. I love a clean sheet. If every game, if I'm seeing 10 of our players talk about Cleanos, I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
Right?
But like I
Cleano
think
+3.
terminology is changing
That's all I
for
want to see.
2025. I was messaging in the group chat earlier. I was thinking, realised it was Dolan. That's 2 assists in two games. I think they're called goal contributions now, aren't they? Not assists in 2025. So that's 2 goal contributions in 2 games for Dolan, which is, Rachel said, sounds like he's had a good game again. He's lively, isn't he? And he looks like he's got some goals in him.
He's a lovely player.
Yeah.
He's lovely poise. He's comfortable on the ball.
Good footballer too.
Takes
I call him a livelio. No, not a lively player, livelio.
Yeah, takes players on. Great to watch. But that's the thing across the squad. We've got Louis Dennis there on the right side, who again he's got the tricks, hasn't he? It's we have got some really good players. I mean, Low Everton and Matt Worthington were complementing each other in the middle there.
Very well played, sir. Well, thank you. I thought you were doing even better.
Yeah, keeping the midfield ticking over. It's good. And we've got a full complement, except obviously for Nash and Sonny Fish, who nobody knows what to expect with Sonny Fish. I just think, when he finally gets a game, it's no pressure, Sonny. You know what I mean? It's
Watton's very excited about him, though, isn't he? I remember him saying in the summer he's the most excited about any of the players. He mentioned it again in the week, didn't he? He's looking like he's looking fitter than he did when he first signed.
Yeah.
Well,
so
thing about Fish, he's slippery. And in terms, in terms of scales, he'll come back fit, won't he? So that's
He's a fishy.
Back of the net.
Talking about assists. Does anybody remember when they were called passes and crosses? Maybe you remember.
But assist for goals. The other thing I would say, it's interesting, Rachel, you said as well. If you think as well, I mentioned, Paul mentioned, didn't he, when Jay came on and did a job. There's a lot of these people that are probably not playing in their favourite positions. Dolan's not a left-sided player, is he? Jay's played on the left. So these players are kind of, it's almost, it's a bit
versatile.
Yeah, it's a bit versatile. They're probably not in there. I would imagine Dolan would rather be in that Dennis role than a kind of number 10 role in behind, wouldn't he? But yeah, I mean, it seems to go with the number as number 10, doesn't it, Torquay? We had Omar last year, and Dolan this year looks like the sort of player that's going to have a bit of magic in his boots, doesn't he?
Yeah. The Moose. I miss him.
Warming Wheelstone's bench now.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he'd been doing really well for them.
He did to start with, and I think he missed a few games. He was back in the bench midweek. I saw he was on the bench, but they're doing all right as well, aren't they?
Yeah, doing good. I agree. Should we move towards Caddy's, not Caddy's corner? And any final chat about? We've asked about Cleanos, haven't we?
Yeah, I think there needs to be a poll. I think we need to.
What won the poll in the Talkie Talk WhatsApp group? Because I caused concern earlier. I caused a war. I put a message in the chat, and the next thing you know, I've come back and there's loads. There's at least 6 messages. Like Cleanos. But
Paul Mulhern is very much old school on this issue. So if we do end up commentating again later in the season, we can have it out on air, because I'm
me and him as well.
For sure. Can I just say one more thing about yesterday? Almost going back to where I started with Cookie. I thought that was really good management from Paul yesterday, because he picks the young whippersnapper for the first half, and it's nice actually to have a lone player in that we've got enough confidence in, isn't it, that we're going to start him. That's great, because you often see these young lads come in and they sit on the bench for a bit, and you're not sure what's going on. But that was good vote of confidence for him. But actually then second half, sort of 50 minutes, I think he made the substitution because it's blowing a hoolie. You want Cookie there to do what he does, to be physical, to try and hold the ball up. So I thought that was tremendous.
Well, Cook played quite deep for the last sort of 15 minutes or so. He was playing sort of quite a defensive role. So we all know how good he is in the air, and yeah, he was sort of playing quite deep. But word on that, Kieran Dillon, lovely debut. I mean, great movement, great understanding, finding the pockets and what have you, and just looked a really, again, another lively introduction, and it's good to see, and it's good to have competition, isn't it, for Cody Cook? Because let's face it, he has been the centre forward that the only centre forward we've been able to really go to. We've had like Ed Palmer coming on for him in the latter stages of games where Cody Cook's clearly tired. So yeah, it's great to have a bit more variation and a bit more selection options. But you don't become, last season Cody Cook was our top scorer. He was brilliant. I just don't think he's set the world alight this to the start of this season. But he's a great player to have, and I'm very, very glad that he's a Torquay United player. But that's just been my opinion of watching him so far this season. He's just not really sort of been gelling with the other players. But yeah, no, well done, Dylan. And I'd like to think I'd like to think that Paul Watton will start him again on Saturday.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Nice to have options. It's nice to have options, isn't it? Right, ready for Caddy's Corner?
Yes, here we go. Apologies in advance for my conducting of the corner. I'm sure it won't be a patch on the fella himself, but he's abandoned us this week, and he's off. He's off.
He should get off his sunbed then, shouldn't he, Clive, if he cares?
What's that, mate?
He should get off his sunbed if he cares, shouldn't he?
Possibly. I believe he's jetting out to the sun tomorrow. So good evening to you, Tom. Sunday night now. I hope you have a lovely time. We've had what I think they describe as a bumper response today for this. We do read them all, I promise. If I miss a couple, I apologise, but we've all got homes to go to at the end of the day, haven't we? The question tonight basically was, we're 10 games in, and what do you make of the start? We've been quite a lot of people have given it marks out of 10. So, and actually, there's not too much difference between them. There's one or two outliers, but it's a fairly consistent response. We'll start with Chris Braund, I think. So thanks, Chris, for writing in. He rightly says, I think, about yesterday, it should have been 3-0 at half-time. Dylan looked a handful. He's given us 6 out of 10 for the start because we just make it hard for ourselves away. The man himself, Tommy, has given Torquay start 7 out of 10. Home form superb. Away form less so. Appreciate the injury problems we've encountered, but performances against Horsham and Hemel left a lot to be desired. Expectations are higher for me this season, but all in all, it's been a solid start. Better to come. Up the goals. The gaffer, Dom Roman, has been in touch and says he's really thought about this one. Somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8. Is 7 3/4 too exact?
7.75. Yeah.
Well, that's 7 3/4, isn't it?
It is. I know it is. Yeah.
Just 8.
Gone on a bit more. It's 8, isn't it?
Okay.
Just put 8.
Do you want me to read them or?
Yeah.
It's going to be a math there, Clive.
Somewhere between a 7.5 and 8. Is 7.75 too exact? Important that the defence is returning to last year's form. Attack could be more clinical, but much like at the start of the season, I feel confident we can win this division.
Go on, Tom.
Go on, Tom. Some positivity.
Could happen, couldn't it?
I agree.
Are you sure his phone wasn't stolen by somebody?
We'll lead on. We'll lead on to Alan Wills because I think he's got a similar opinion. If you're averaging 2 points and 2 goals per game at any stage of the season, you're doing great.
Yep.
Throw in our 100% home record and consecutive Cleanos, and you can't complain about the start, especially with more to come from this squad. Exciting times. Thanks, Al.
Plus an injury crisis.
Yeah. But I'm just reading them.
I know, I'm just saying, I've got impulsive thoughts. I'm on an 8 as well.
He didn't say that, Swanee.
Okay.
I'm on an 8. I'm on an 8 out of 10 personally.
I saw Alan in the pub after the game last night, and he was in sparkling form. It was lovely to see him. Rachel Mallock, an away win at last, unbeaten at home. Still feel we've got another gear or two in our performances with the quality in our squad. Players coming back from injury, getting fitter, Sonny Fish to cast his net and no doubt hit the net in the coming weeks. And my goodness me, a solid 8 out of 10.
Ooh.
Good for
What's
you,
better than
Rach.
Dom?
Well, we're third at the table. We're third. You know,
Exactly.
we're actually we're having a good season. It's and we've got the monkey off our back now. We've won away. It's all systems go.
It's all Cleanos.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Paul Mulhern has got a couple of comments on the Cleano issue. He agrees with Tommy, who is very much clean sheet. He's very much old school, Tommy, and Paul has rode in behind him. We cannot allow Cleanos to become a thing. I'm delighted not conceding goals, but calling them Cleanos is 50 shades of wrong. End this madness now. That's the voice from the commentary box. In terms of the start to the season, Paul has this to say. Same start as last season's points-wise shows the depth of the squad. Despite numerous injuries to key players, we're doing well. 7.5 out of 10. Is that 7.5? Yeah. 7.5 out of 10. And I've lost my place like the pro I am. It's time all the fans got back on side. Bin the negativity, mainly online, and get behind the team and Paul Watton. Your support is vital. So it's a rallying cry from our old mate, Paul. Thanks, Paul. I know you listen to this. And we should probably get you on sometime, I think, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Josh, he's defected to another podcast, doesn't he now?
There's a number of Talk United podcasts, I think, and I would recommend each and every one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're all ace.
Yeah, and you're on all of them.
When invited, yeah, absolutely, and it's a privilege to do each and every one.
He's every flipping where, Clive Hayward.
I know, it's sad, isn't it? It probably speaks to the dearth of talent, doesn't it, really, if I'm getting a gig. Josh Coles is always interesting, and he says 8 out of 10. Navigated a massive injury crisis in a competitive league. Home form's been perfect so far with some great attacking play. Away form / performances has been an issue, but between yesterday and the Hampton game, I'm hopeful we're steady now with the players coming back. Thanks, Josh. Corey Jeffrey gets in touch. TUFC_CJ. Corey has given the Yellows a 7. Channeling Len Goodman. Home form excellent with 15 points out of 15. Away form not up to standards with 5 out of 15. We've got past the storm of key players being injured, which is a benefit. Just need to keep Fortress Plainmoor going and march on with getting points away from home. Come on, you Yellows. The most exact score of the night is provided by Ollie. Hi, Ollie. Thank you for getting in touch. And Ollie's given 7.2 out of 10, which I believe might be 7 1/5, Chris.
It is, 20%.
Thanks very much. Away form, these are like bullet points. Away form, Ed Palmer, he's too good for this team, Prem standard. Sloppy defending, Jordan Thomas. But apart from that, some good shifts, especially after injuries are back. So what I think he's done is given a few sort of negative points, but overall, he's happy to give 7.2. So thank you for that. Highest score of the night is from Joe Pope, Off the Line blog. Hi, Joe. Thanks for this. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, he says. We had 6 to 7 starters out for key periods, yet managed that brilliantly. Unbeaten at home, averaging 2 points a game. Beaten one of the fancy teams. Who would that be? Ebbsfleet, maybe?
Presumably.
Yeah.
Could be. Averaging 2 points a game, done that bit. Paul Watton has kept us competitive, made us a better side in an attacking sense, and we've got another gear to go yet. He said, my God, we could be up to about 15, can we? Good start. And I think we will cut the corner at that point. Thank you, everybody, for getting in touch. It's lovely to hear from you always.
And what's your score,
Fantastic
Clive?
job, Clive.
I think I gave him a 7. I think it's fine. I'm like Rach, really. I'm really pleased to get that away win. It's not easy to win away. We know what the stats are. You know, Torquay in their entire history, they've only won like 1 in 4 away games. It ain't that easy.
That stat's going to keep coming out, isn't it?
You need to be winning a lot more than that if you're challenging for a title, and we're playing in a league where we fancy ourselves to do well. So that the pressure ain't going away. But let's be honest, that was a really good performance. The injuries thing, if I was given a sort of weighted score to take the injuries into account, I'd probably give them 8 out of 10 because it's been ridiculous that we've lost all of our pre-season signings for a decent period of time, but they appear to be back now, fit, firing, and it's all good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. If it had been a full team, I'd probably say 7 because I think these players are better than the results would be. But given the injuries and given where we find ourselves now, I would agree. I would have weighted score as 8 for me.
Yeah, I agree. Nice stuff. Right, final bit, predictions. Dagenham, going to be a very interesting game. Obviously, it's an interesting one because the pressure's on them in the sense of they need to get results. We all do, obviously, but it's just not having the season they thought they would. There's also a few things going on there. But then obviously we're team 3rd in the 21st, so it's going to be a big occasion, isn't it? It's going to be a difficult one to predict, but will we keep our Hunstone winning form? What do you reckon? I'm actually going to go, disappointingly, for a 2-2 draw because I did it against Salisbury and we won, but also because I just feel like we'll play well, but I think sometimes teams like Dagenham might raise it a little bit for whatever reason at the weekend. So we'll see. Chris?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? If it was 3rd against 21st, generally speaking, you'd be going for a comfortable home win, wouldn't you? But given who it is, given how they fancied themselves, the recruitment they've put into it, they've got a manager who knows this level. It's surprising how they've started, isn't it? Whether there has been a bit of we'll turn up and walk the league, but actually it's a bit harder than that, maybe. I think what you just said there's the same for every game, though. Everyone raises their game when they play more, don't they? Because it's the biggest game, best facility, best pitch. But I think you've just got to, there was kind of like Paul. We really need to look at ourselves, look at what we're doing, look at how we play, look at the strength, and with as we've said, with the players back, fit and firing, the 1 game a week thing I think is important. I know Paul thinks very much a lot about the getting on the training pitch, proper rest and recuperation. I would say I'd back us to beat anyone at home, so I probably won't ever predict we won't win at home this season. But I think 3 Cleano.
Yeah.
Rachel?
It would have been really interesting because their star man, the big signing Andy Carroll, I'd have loved to have seen him up against Samdrea. That would have been an interesting contest, wouldn't it? But
Will he not be playing?
He's got a long-term injury, hasn't he? I think he didn't he?
He did.
No, he came back, but he got sent off, didn't he? So he was on a 3-game ban. I'm afraid I don't know whether that's expired yet.
Oh well, if he is playing, fantastic. That's and I can imagine that'll. I mean, we're getting good crowds anyway, aren't we? But you'd think that might pull a few more in. But yeah, we've got this fortress Playmore in place, haven't we? And we there's a confidence when we play at home, and that's good to see. Crowds are up. We always generate a good atmosphere, and yeah, I think we'll win. We've got the players. We've got the sort of firepower. We should. With the last couple of games, it's been 1-0s, but I'm going to go for a 3. I'm going to go for a Cleano. I'm going to go 3-0. Torquay United.
Clive.
So I think there's quite a bit of disquiet in the Dagenham fan base at the minute. Firstly, they're a lot lower down the pyramid than they used to. I remember, if I can just wander briefly down memory lane, our first season back in the league under Paul Buckle, I think our first away game was up there, and we got absolutely slaughtered.
We shipped Clive, 5. All he's got to do is cross it. We go back to
Yeah.
4-3. All Carroll's got to do is roll it across the 6-yard line, and Sills has got to tap in, and he tries to shoot. It'd have been 4-all. We'd have got a point that day if he'd passed.
He scored an absolute screamer, Muzzy, as well.
I
Didn't
don't
he?
care.
Remember?
I don't care. We should have passed it.
Oh, sorry. I was just reminiscing about what happened, but that's fair enough. I'd forgotten that bit, mate.
Yeah. Oh, pass
That's
it.
That's a memory, that is.
My memory of that, it was an absolute hammering, to be honest. I
Yeah,
thought
it was.
I thought we
It
got
was.
stuffed.
We did,
But,
but then somehow we got back to within a goal, and if he'd passed, we'd have got a point.
Yeah.
We were in that tiny little stand, weren't we? Just to the right of where you sit now, and it was tight. It was boiling hot, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah. And it's a long old way out to Dagenham, a minute on the tube.
Probably the barking dog on the way. Lovely.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Let's come back to the present day. Are people going to be queuing down the length of Marnham Road to see Andy Carroll? I don't know. I hope so. I hope we get a good crowd. Going back to their off the field situation, as I say, that relegation last year hit them hard. I think nobody was expecting that, and there was a real bounce in the summer with a new owner coming in, but there's sort of people are wondering whether he actually is putting his money where his mouth is. I know Jerry Gill walked, didn't he? Their assistant manager. He's gone, and he's now popped up again at Yeovil, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to say. And the reason for that is that he wasn't given what he was promised in terms of sort of off the field packages, if you like. So there are a few concerns about the Daggers, really. Having said all of that, I'm going to try and appease the football gods a bit. You don't win 6 games on the trot at home that often. So I'm going to go for a little 1-1 and hope that I'm wrong.
Wow. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me, you three. And we'll see you next week. And up the yellows. And let's bag many more Cleanos.
Yes, Swanee.
Woke nonsense.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells.